Okay, so we are looking at the distributive property here, and what it says is the distributive property allows us to remove parentheses by distributing the value outside the parentheses, which with each term located inside the parentheses. So if we think about just what distributing is, if I'm a mail person, I'm distributing the mail. There's one person giving mail out to everyone on your street. Same thing with the distributive property. That number on the outside is being multiplied by everything on the inside. So whenever a number is being multiplied by each term inside a set of parentheses, it should be recognized as the distributive property. The distributive property is necessary to solve some algebraic equations or just to simplify some algebraic expressions. So if we look at number 1, it tells us to find the x for each of the following equations. So I have my parentheses here. What I'm going to do first, our first step is to distribute. So it becomes 6x plus 18 equals 48. Remember, I'm multiplying what's on the outside by everything on the inside. So really, 6 times x plus 6 times 3 equals 48. Simplifies down to that next line. Now it's a two-step equation that we'll solve. Remember, now we're working reverse order of operations, so I want to draw my fence. I want to circle my variable term. I want to get that term alone by adding or subtracting. In this case, I'll subtract 18 from both sides. My 18s cancel. I'm left with just 6x on the left side. Carry down my equal sign. 48, take away 18, leaves me with 30. We now have a one-step equation. 6x, when I have a number next to a variable, they're being multiplied. So I'm going to undo that multiplication by division. So divide by 6, and I'm left with x equals 5. Again, here on number 2, we're doing the same thing. If you need to, go ahead, draw your little arrows to make sure you're distributing correctly. But I'm going to be taking 4 times 5 plus 4 times negative x equals 8. Four times 5 is 20 plus 4 times negative. Remember, there's that imaginary 1 there. So we're going to call that negative 4x equals 8. In the green here, I'm going to circle my variable term, not forgetting to draw my fence to help me make sure I do what I do on one side of the equal sign I do on the other. In this case, I want to get rid of that 20. I want to cancel that, move that. So if it's a positive 20, to move that, we're going to need to subtract 20. That gets it to 0. And then subtract 20 on the right-hand side. My 20s cancel. I'm left with just negative 4x equals. Now I have 8 take away 20. Again, that's keep. Then I'm going to change, because it's subtraction. I have more negatives than I have positives, so my answer is going to be negative. And then by how many more do I have? Well, 20 take away 8 leaves me with 12, so it'll be a negative 12. And now it's a one-step equation. Negative 4x equals negative 12. Again, a number next to a variable, they're being multiplied. So I'm going to undo that by division. Left with x equals, I have a negative and a negative. If they're the same sign with division and multiplication, the answer is positive. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my final answer is x equals 3. Okay, so we're looking at number 3 here, and I have 7 times the quantity x plus 2 plus 3 equals 73. First thing I'm going to do is distribute. My 7 just goes to what's inside the parentheses, so I need to multiply 7 times x and 7 times 2. So I have 7x plus 7 times 2. Then I bring down everything else. Plus 3 equals 73. My next line, my 7x stays. Plus 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 3 equals 73. Now I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to combine my 14 plus 3. So I have 7x plus 17 equals 73. Now I'm to my two-step equation. Draw my fence. Again, I could have drawn my fence from the beginning. I'm going to circle my variable term. I'm going to move that plus 17. So what's 17 is being added to the 7x. So to undo that, I'm going to subtract 17. Subtract 17. That becomes 56. So I'm left with 7x because my 17's cancel equals 56. I want to divide by 7, and you should get x equals 8. So we're looking at problem 11 here. It's still a distributive property, but now this time we have 3 numbers on the inside, but it's still the same process. So we're going to take whatever's on the outside, multiply by everything on the inside. So I have 2 times x, we'll call that 2x, plus 2 times -5, plus 2 times 2 equals 6. So that leaves me with 2x plus -10 plus 4 equals 6. I don't need this parentheses here. Always before I begin to solve, I want to make sure I combine my like terms. In this case, it's -10 and 4. That's -10 plus +4. I have more negatives than I have positives. How many more negatives? 6 more. So it's going to be 2x plus -6 equals 6. I'm at my two-step equation. I want to draw my fence, circle my variable term. Add 6 to both sides to move that. Those cancel. 2x equals 12. Again, it's multiplication, so I'm going to undo that by division. And I'm left with x equals 6 for my final answer.